Previously on the KP Watershed channel.
I am joined by Nicole.
Great to be here.
At Yankees games and wearing bright colored shirts. Maya,
TwinkieTown.
she posted 50 questions that she wanted me to answer, so
let's just get to it.
all right.
Where does your job think you are, like Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
I took a vacation day today.
Like, what about all the other days?
There are only, I think, 10 weekday day games this year, so I'm using 10 of my vacation days on those games, and then the rest of them are, at night or weekends.
That is freaking commitment.
Right? I planned on it before the season. The goal was 81, and so far so good. So far 16 for 16.
That's nuts. Is neon green your favorite color? I really fucking hope not.
No, I've always said my favorite color is Yankees navy blue. And a lot of people call it neon green, and this is, I see it as neon yellow. I think like the official name, I just learned this, is chartreuse. Am I saying that right? Chartreuse?
Yeah.
Would you know what, a similar thing that I heard recently was the debate over whether a tennis ball is yellow or green. What do you think? Is a tennis ball yellow or green?
Oh man, I guess I would call it green. Yeah. I'm like picturing a tennis ball right now, and I'm going green on that.
It's weird, right? And it's like 50-50. Roger Federer said yellow.
Really?
Yeah, I think tennis ball is green and the shirt is yellow, but I guess, people see colors differently. Maybe people see it differently, but I see it as yellow.
Have you held a tennis ball up to your shirt to do a very close analysis?
No, but that is a great idea. I wish I had a tennis ball. Next time.
Well, hopefully Walmart has those in stock next time you make a run for the shirts.
I think they might. Let us know in the comments if you think a tennis ball is yellow or green, and if you think the shirt is yellow or green. I'm curious to know. I would guess it's probably like about 50-50.
Or chartreuse, for all you fancy fucks.
Or chartreuse. I think there is like chartreuse yellow and chartreuse green, though. I think there's, I don't know, are there multiple chartreuses?
I personally was under the impression that chartreuse was blue. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to look into that. We'll have to get some.
We'll all find out together. Learning every day.
Let us know in the comments, please.
Yeah, please help. Do you go to the games by yourself?
Sometimes I'll go with people, maybe a third of the time, but I'm never at the game by myself. There's so many Yankees fans that are at a lot of the games too that I meet up with there. And that's becoming more and more true as I've gotten to know more people on Yankees Twitter.
Yankee Stadium is just a big bucket of your friends.
All right, well, I just edited out a long part where Nicole basically made me feel bad about being single. Just because you're the first cousin to be married.
Everybody, do not get it twisted. I am trying to be the motivational, shining light here, saying that his future neon shirt is sitting in Yankee Stadium waiting. So ladies, you just keep your eyes peeled for the firecracker sitting behind home plate.
They're definitely not watching this.
All right, well, circling back to baseball, how about that Miguel, how do you say his name?
Sano?
Sano.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's huge. Seeing him in person is always a fun experience and unbelievable power. He can hit a baseball as far as anybody. And he was one, sometimes with players, when you heckle them, they respond by playing better. And he was one where my heckle for him had been Miguel Gordo, because he's a bigger guy. And I tried that twice, and he hit a home run and a double in the first 2 times I tried that, so I stopped saying it.
Does that just make you feel dumb, or?
Yeah, yes, it does. It makes me feel like I've made a mistake.
You live and you learn.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta adjust your style to each player, just like the defense puts on a shift.
Yeah, fair enough. The next questions are about moving your seat around, but before we get into the other locations in the stadium, I just need to know, what is your favorite thing to eat? Because I don't know if everybody's familiar with your Instagram account, but if there's one thing in life that really motivates me, it's food. And that food in the legend section looks killer. Like that breakfast the other day.
What they do in there is ridiculously extravagant, and it is something to behold for sure. On the other hand, it's one could say it's very wasteful and unnecessary, but it's been amazing getting to eat there a bunch of times. What was the question? What's my favorite food there?
Yeah, like what's the best thing you ever ate? What's the worst thing you ever ate?
The thing that I get the most, the sliders down there are really good, and a lot of people rave about their milkshakes. I'm not a big ice cream dairy guy, but I've tried the milkshake and they do live up to the hype. Oh, a lot of people like the pastrami sandwich. I guess that's my least favorite. I thought the pastrami sandwich was a little bit overrated and difficult to eat at a baseball game.
You do live in like the land of corned beef sandwiches, so...
Yeah, you would think it would be better in New York, and I don't think that one lived up to the hype.
All right, Yankee Stadium, you gotta step it up a notch with the corned beef.
Oh, really good onion rings too. Amazing onion rings.
Really incredible. All right, well, when you're not like enjoying the benefits of the legend section, living your best life in your neon shirt, do you ever sit in the upper deck or the bleachers?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's at Yankee Stadium. There's really not a lot of bad seats, and it can get lonely down there in the Legends with all the empty seats, and it can get quiet down there. And it's fun to watch a game out in the center field bar. There's some great views up in the 320s, 420s at Yankee Stadium. So I try to move around. Even during a game, I'll sometimes get up and walk around to meet up with people, or check out the game from a different vantage point, try to catch a home run. So yeah, absolutely.
Just living it up, making friends all over the universe.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to those 30 games in 2009, my usual routine was just to buy the cheapest ticket I could find on StubHub for, $5-10. And it would be, way up in the corner of right field, but at Yankee Stadium, and most stadiums are like this, it's pretty open. You can watch the play from the open area down on the field level. They've got open bar areas all over the stadium, and there's always empty seats you can find too. So yeah, absolutely, that's a really fun way to watch a baseball game. Is moving around, meeting people in all different sections, checking out all the different food options in different parts of the stadium, and yeah,
living it up.
Yeah.
World Tour. Have you ever worn your shirts at another stadium?
I did wear the yellow shirt at a Rockies Braves game in Colorado last year.
Was it a Yankees shirt?
No. Remember how I said earlier that I only had 2 shirts and it wasn't enough because I had to wash them every 2 games?
Right.
And I was in Mexico at the gift shop. They had this chartreuse colored like skull Mexico shirt. It's a nice shirt, and I had some pesos left to spend. So I got that, and then I was in Denver, and I was like, oh, I'm at a baseball game, I got a chartreuse shirt, and I'll keep it going. So yes, I guess, is the answer to that question. That video's on YouTube, you can see. I couldn't lie because there's proof.
I definitely believe you. Your little sugar skull's living it up.
It's not a sugar skull, it's like one of those, I'm talking about, like the Mexico, like, what's the word for it? Like the Dia de los Muertos type thing,
Yeah, those are called sugar skulls.
Sugar skulls? I'm learning a lot from you on this.
Yeah, that's like a thing.
It sounds a lot tastier than what it looks like.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's literally a dead person, but they look cute.
I was picturing like the Easter bunny, what are they called? Poofs?
A poof or a peep?
Peep, yes. I don't eat a lot of them, but I was picturing those as like skulls. A sugar skull.
Skeleton poofs for Easter. Coming soon to Yankee Stadium.
It'll be a sequel to The Nightmare Before Christmas. Did you have any peeps this year for Easter? It just passed.
I was honestly, just to sidebar real quick.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. I love peeps. Like, it is one of my favorite.
I knew you would. I knew you would.
Yeah.
I can't stand them.
No, I love them, and I did not go and buy any. So we went to Easter brunch with Papa and Nan, and she made us an Easter basket. And when we got home to open it up, I saw there was a box of Peeps in it, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is the best!" And then I took it out, and they were fucking lemon flavored.
Oh, what are they supposed to be? Just like sugary flavored, or like?
Yeah, just like marshmallow with sugar. Like like poofs, you know?
Yeah, lemony sounds worse than that, but that is a very Anne thing to get lemon flavored.
100%.
Peeps. Yeah.
Anyways, that was offensive.
Yeah.
And really, just to take things to like a very somber level, where were you on 9/11?
Oh, wow! Way to bring down the mood from Peeps.
Hey, it was my.
Valid question. I was not in New York City, but I mean, I've lived in this area my whole life. I was a freshman in high school. You know, like everybody, I remember vividly. The Giants had played Monday Night Football the night before. They got crushed by the Broncos, and I had stayed up late, like past midnight, watching that game and watching the post game. And so I was dead tired the next morning, and I was like sleeping on my desk in health class when somebody leaned over and told me that they had heard in the hallway. And then, you know, as the news came out that morning, they kept my school open, but you know, gradually as the news came out, they were sharing it. My dad worked on Long Island at that point, so he got stranded on Long Island and had to sleep with our cousins that night. Where were you on 9/11?
Yeah, no, I was in my 6th grade reading class. It was the same thing. Like everybody just went home from school. Obviously, my dad drove for Metro North. So
oh yeah, was he?
So he was really lucky that he had left work early that day, so he was already on his way home. But it was, it was scary for everybody.
Yeah, Nicole's dad was a train conductor to the city.
Yeah. Crazy times. It's like, I can't believe that it was, so long ago, when I was last home in Connecticut, I had stopped by Trumbull High to see one of my favorite teachers, and some of his high school seniors were not alive for it.
That's been, Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That just made me feel really sad and really old.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. I get that feeling all the time at the baseball games, too, because there's so many young kids there, and, you know, so many of them are, you know, at this point, 15, 16, 17, and weren't even born for it yet, and, it's crazy to think about.
Yeah. This next question, I just feel like needs to be answered by somebody who's in the fam. It's, does your family know about the shirts? And I would definitely just like to go on record and say that that's a big, hard yes, that the whole family is aware of the shirts. Our grandfather is also a diehard Yankees fan, and he like lives for seeing Keith on TV at all the games, and our 5-year-old cousin who lives in Brooklyn is trained to pick Keith out of the crowds. I actually just got a text from Brett like a couple days ago, I guess the last game that you were at, and it was a picture of Abe just pointing at you on the TV. I'll have to send it to you. Maybe you could throw it in there.
I think I've seen it. Yeah, they've been awesome. I've been talking with Brett a lot, and it's fun watching Abe watch.
Yeah, you can pretty much be rest assured that if there's a home Yankees game, that somebody in our family is screenshotting or is taking pictures of their TV and throwing it in some group chat. So very, very well aware of the shirts.
Thanks. Yeah, they're definitely all very aware for sure.
And does your family support the shirts? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very lucky to have a very supportive family.
I would say we're a supportive bunch. You've also kind of been the type to just kind of like color outside the lines.
Thanks. Yeah, that becomes a problem when I'm putting the letters on these t-shirts.
Yeah, no, 100%. But we, it's fun to talk about.
Thanks.
Yeah, fun fact. That's my cousin. Question 45 is just why? Just why, Keith? Why?
Oh, I thought it was why is my family supportive?
I mean, I guess. Why? We have no choice.
I would...
We literally have to. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. I sometimes I feel like you guys are kind of afraid of me, too.
Oh my god, 100%. But that was like way before the shirts were a thing.
Yeah, alright. So yeah, I guess, and
when you're hanging out with Keith, you're like instantly 31% more likely to get in some kind of trouble.
That seems
Which
low.
is always like really fun, but you're certainly running more risk than if you were not hanging out with Keith.
I think the best answer to why is why not?
Yeah, no, there's really nothing else to say to that. It's just, why not?
And you're, in the family, you're always game to try new things and have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, again, you get some rare opportunities.
Well, thank you. That means a lot coming from you.
Yeah.
And you've had your days, certainly in your UMass days.
They're not your days. My days are like a Disney movie compared to your days, I feel.
A good and weird Disney movie, though.
Yeah, like maybe like Coco with the sugar skull poops.
Let's move on.
Yeah, anyways. Do you ever make more than one t-shirt? I kind of feel like you've touched on that a whole lot.
Oh, I thought you meant in one game.
Maybe.
Yes, yeah. At first because it was really cold, so I had to wear layers. So I had multiple. I was doubling up because of that. So I would be wearing like yesterday's shirt underneath today's shirt. And then the first time I had 2 different new lettered shirts. I'm glad I didn't have to use this. But in the second Brian Dozier game, because a lot of people had said you got to own this. I had the second Dozier streak ends tonight shirt, and then I had a backup where if he had gotten a hit, I was going to put on the backup, which just said, "Dang it."
I was just gonna say you should plan for like a reveal, like a shirt on the outside, and then
just be going through layers the whole game, like bust out a different layer shirt every inning.
Yeah, like you gotta have a costume change that tells like a story, really captures people's emotions, and takes people on a journey.
It's heading in that direction. I mean, it's the Judge wig, the sign. It's becoming a bit much. I mean, you can only bring so big of a bag into Yankee Stadium, and I think I'm already at the limit. And it's getting hot now, finally, which is nice. It's getting warm, but that makes it less logical to bring, 2 or 3 shirts and a jacket into the stadium.
That's why you just wear them all on top of each other.
I sweat a lot very easily, so that's not going to be good for anybody.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we'll have to find a way.
All right. Well, we'll work on that.
Okay. Did you ever make a t-shirt for A-Rod?
Yes. Yeah. My personal favorite is the t-shirt "Put A-Rod in Monument Park." It's the one I've worn the most. The one trepidation I have, or the biggest trepidation I have about wearing a different shirt every day is I want to wear that one more because, A-Rod belongs in Monument Park, and if there's anything I can do to keep people talking about that and keep the Yankees, hearing from fans that fans have come around on A-Rod and appreciate what he did for this team and the MVPs he won for this team and the World Series he won for this team. So yeah, absolutely. Big A-Rod supporter. Got the one A-Rod shirt. And maybe the answer to this is I got to come up with a second A-Rod Monument Park line because that's one that I've already worn, I think 5 or 6 times. So big emphatic yes to that question.
Yeah. Anybody who's watching, like, share, hashtag put A-Rod in Monument Park.
Do you have thoughts on A-Rod and J-Lo?
Yeah, I mean, Jenny from the Block is a real, is a legend. They're both legends, I guess.
Exactly.
I don't know. Do you ever get embarrassed about your shirts?
Yes, absolutely. Every time I wear them. I don't know, because
There's no way.
Oh no, absolutely. I think it's a few things. I feel like when I've done personality tests, I think I'm more of an introvert that just kind of wants to be an extrovert. And baseball is a great forum to kind of where I feel comfortable and I can kind of
I would kind of agree with that, actually. I guess I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah, and I think the Marlins man part of it is a big thing. I'm nervous about coming across as if I'm trying to build my star up and become Yankees man or something, which is it's not a good look, and that's something that makes me feel apprehensive about doing it. And still, like we talked about, has me thinking that there's a strong case to be made for going with neon yellow cap and white t-shirt with a phrase or with a message. I guess to be entirely honest, one of the games this week met up with this girl, and I guess it was the first time that I'd been in date type scenario wearing the neon yellow getup. And
oh my god.
in hindsight, I think she was probably okay with it, but it just felt weird for me. Like almost like I was like in a mascot costume, like on a date. So yeah, absolutely. But with that being said,
Be proud.
Yeah, I'm turning really red. You can't see this. I'm really red on camera right now. But yeah, exactly. I would say that any feelings of embarrassment are far outweighed by pride that this Yankees team is winning and, making, it's hard to look bad as a fan of a team when the team's playing this well. And it's hard to have a bad time at Yankee Stadium when the team is winning like this. So those feelings of giddiness about this exciting 2018 team and all the positive vibes from people who have said nice things and come up to me definitely more than counterbalance the embarrassment that I sometimes still do feel, or definitely still do feel.
Find someone who loves you the way Keith loves the Yankees.
Right?
Yeah, no, it is real.
Or just find someone who loves the Yankees as much.
Or that. We may have touched on this, but where do you get your matching hats from? And do you just have one of them?
I do only have the one neon yellow cap right now, but it's getting pretty grungy. Yeah. So I am planning on ordering a second one for the next series, and they don't sell that color in Yankee Stadium. You can get them in like the bootleg shops on the side roads, which is a little pricier than getting it online.
So how much do those run on the side of the road?
I want to say it was $35.
What?
And it was only like $30 on Amazon.
Ugh, I love Amazon.
Right?
So good.
I will say, just recently, just this week for this series, the Yankees in Yankee Stadium did start selling like a mustard yellow cap with black NY.
Ugh, no, please don't.
So yeah, I don't know if I should take any credit for them adding the mustard yellow to their Yankee Stadium hat store portfolio, but yeah,
no, please don't take credit for that. That is a poor replication of a great thing.
Okay.
Mustard yellow is not a flattering color on anybody.
It's maybe not as brown as mustard. It's more like, I guess, traffic light yellow. It's not neon-y. It's just like regular yellow.
Oh, okay. All right, I guess not that bad. And lastly here, if the answer to this is no, I hope it soon turns to a yes. Has the Yankees organization ever contacted you about your shirts?
Lastly, it feels like we're just getting started.
Stay from the top.
Yes. One of the things that was the most surreal this week was the Yankees broadcasters mentioned it during a couple of the games. Hearing Paul O'Neill talk about it was probably the moment that still feels the weirdest. And so they talked about it on the air, and then the next day, Meredith Marakovich. Do you know Meredith Marakovich?
Unfortunately, I'm not familiar.
She's like one of the Yankees Yes Network beat reporters. She comes down to the field, interviews the players. So the day I wore the Thank You O'Neill and also Michael K shirt, she came down to do like a quick interview. And I had a few drinks at that point, and I was hanging out with some guys who were, also a few beers in. So, but Meredith I think was having a good time with it too. But yeah, so Meredith asked me a few questions about it just to kind of get the background story, kind of like what we're talking through here. But other than Meredith and like the folks who work down in Legends, no members of the Yankees brass. I have not spoken with Lon Trost or Randy Levine or any of those guys. Although I would love to. If you guys want to grab a beer, first round's on me.
Made by you for everyone.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, we have officially made it through Maya's list here.
Thank you for doing this. This took longer than I thought, and it's
yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
It's been awesome. A lot of good insight into why you're doing what you're doing. It's pretty cool. So
well, thank you. I appreciate you're helping us through this, and especially thank you again to Maya. I had tears coming out of my eyes reading through your 50 questions the first time, and it was a pleasure talking through them, and it's a pleasure meeting other real baseball fans, and especially other legendary hecklers, which I should be so lucky to have a heckling career like I think you do. So thanks again.
Hashtag goals.
Yeah, seriously. All right, Nicole. Well, thanks again. Say hello to the hubby and the dog and the cat.
Will do. Thanks for having me. I hope I get to make another appearance again soon.
Likewise. Alrighty.
All right.
Go Yankees.
Bye. Crazy shit.
Wikipedia's word of the day is ghost town.
It should be poof.
Yeah, right?